you're right there, Mark here, starting a brand new series. As you can gather, it is on Fyreslayers. These are going to be quite concise videos, I hope, going over all aspects of Fyreslayers from the 3.0 book. Okay, so let's crack on. So the very first video is going to be on the Allegiance ability. So if you are following along at home, it is from page 56. So let's crack on with what we are doing. So Legion's abilities that I'm following in this video today is going to be the Lodges, the command ability, the Gold runes, and the heroic action. So the Lodges are very important, okay? You have to choose a lodge. So let's crack on with that first. So the lodges are going to be on page 61. So you got vostrag, greyfyrd, hermdar, and lofnir. Now they have had quite the change from 2.0 book, but they've still kept the flavour of what they stand for, if that makes sense. So vostrag, you have got fearsome surge. Add 1 to the hit rolls and the wound rolls for attacks made by melee weapons by friendly vostrag Volkite berserkers that charge in the same turn. So if you're going to go Volkite heavy, you may be tempted to go vostrag. Okay. Now let's carry on. Greyfyrd, spoils of victory. You add 1 to the wounds characteristic of friendly greyfyrd heroes that have not on a mount. They are not on a mount, sorry. In addition, you get to pick 2 additional artifacts of power and give them to 2 greyfyrd heroes in your army that do not have a mount. So you can put your standard one that you get for being battle forged on Runefather or Magmadroth. But then your 2 additional ones then go on foot heroes. Simple as that. But then your on foot heroes get an extra wound. Then we go on to Hermdar. Hermdar, if a friendly Hermdar unit is wholly within the enemy territory or wholly within 12 inches of an objective marker and fails their battle shock test, half the number of models that flee rounding up. That's it. That's quite a change from what they had before. Anyway, then you've got Lofnir. Add 2 to the wounds characteristic of friendly Lofnir Magmadroth units. Great. In addition, up to 3 Lofnir Magmadroth units in your army can be given a different mount trait instead of just the 1 Magmadroth unit. Great. The reason why they said only up to 3 is there's only 3 Magmadroth traits. But it's still great. Your Magmadroth's got 2 extra wounds. And on top of that, you then get additional mount traits for each one. Brilliant. Let's carry on. Each of the lodges do have different things as well. Because say, for example, Hermdar can allow you to have half guards as battle line, and Lofnir can allow Magmadroth, Rune Sons on Magmadroth to be battle line as well. But they'll be coming up in other videos when I go over those units in particular. But just letting you know. Now you've got the command ability. So if we go back, the command ability, fierce counter attack. Now, there is a lot of terminology here, but once you get your head around it, it makes sense. You can use this command ability at the start of the enemy combat phase. The unit that receives the command must be Halfguard Berserkers, or Volkite Berserkers. Unit that is within 3 inches of an enemy unit that made a charge in the same turn, and not within 3 inches of any enemy unit that has not made a charge in the same turn. The first strike effect applies to that unit until the end of that phase. A unit cannot receive this command more than once per battle. So very simply, you can use it on those 3 units once per game in the enemy command phase, but they cannot be tied up in existing combat from the previous phase. They have to only be charged. They can't have an ongoing fight going on. But then it gives you the first strike, which is great. Let's move on. Urgold. Urgold is very, very important for Fyreslayers. At the start of your hero phase, you can activate one of the following 6 types of Urgold runes. To do so, state which rune you will activate and make an activation roll by rolling a dice, or a d6. On a 1 to 5, the standard effect applies. On a 6, the enhanced effect also applies. The effect lasts until the start of your next hero phase. Each Urgold rune can only be activated once per battle, and no more than once can be activated at the same time. No more than one. Once you have used a rune, you can choose a new one to activate in your next hero phase, but you cannot activate the same one more than once. So, let's start off. Rune of Fury. Add 1 to the hit rolls for attacks made by melee weapons of friendly Volkite units. If you get the enhanced off, you add 1 to the attacks characteristic of melee weapons for those units. Nice and simple, really nice and effective. Then you got Awakened Steel. Improve the rend characteristic of melee weapons for Fyreslayer units by 1. Get the enhanced, you add an additional 1 to the rend, so you get +2 rend. Then you got Searing Heat. Unmodified wound rolls made for attacks from Fyreslayer units of a 6 cause a mortal wound in addition to normal damage. Then the enhanced effect, when this rune is activated, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 of a friendly Fyreslayer unit. On a 2-up, that enemy unit suffers a mortal wound. Fiery Determination. Fiery Determination. All friendly Fyreslayer units have a 6-up ward. The enhanced effect, Fyreslayer heroes get a 5-up ward. That's a bit of a different one. So it's not just everyone gets a 5-up, it's just heroes. Then we got the Rune of Farsight. Add 1 to hit rolls made with fire steel throwing axes for Fyreslayer units. The enhanced effect, add 1 to the wound rolls for throwing axes for Fyreslayer units. And then finally, Relentless Zeal, you add 2 to the movement characteristic of Fyreslayer units. And if you get the enhanced effect, you add 2 to the charge for Fyreslayer units. All nice and simple. They all have a use. Okay. You could go Relentless Zeal, very first turn, get that extra 2 movement to try and get onto those objectives. Then you go turn 2, maybe your opponent has a lot of shooting. You may then go for Fiery Determination to get that 6-up ward and hopefully get that 5-up ward on your heroes, so you can weather the storm of shooting or whatever. But there's a lot of reactionary things you can do here, which is great. Let's carry on. Heroic Action. So this is only for Fyreslayers. So, Blaze of Fury. At the start of your hero phase, you can choose to carry out this action on your Fyreslayer's hero, but they cannot perform any other action. Fine. Pick 1 friendly Fyreslayer hero until the end of your turn. The enhanced effect of the Urgold rune that is activated in this hero phase applies to the hero regardless of your activation roll. Pardon me. You cannot carry out this heroic action with the same hero more than once in the same battle. So very, very simple. I activate, say, Fiery Determination. I didn't get the 6, so my heroes don't get the 5-up ward, they only get the 6. But let's say I've got a particular hero that's in combat, that I want him to survive. I proc Blaze of Fury, now he's got a 5-up ward. Simple as that, but he can only have it once per game. And that's it. Really, really straightforward, really simple. I do hope this series helps people going forward. If there's anything you want me to go over in particular with Fyreslayers down the line, please comment down below. I've got plenty of links to other media that I'm on down below. Be very appreciative if you can go on there, show a bit of support. Obviously hit the subscribe and the bell notification so you know when I'm putting up more content. But anyway, you'll have a fantastic rest of your day. Look after yourselves. I'll catch you in the next one.